Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Medicinal Mysteries, where history, herbs, and hilarity collide. I'm your host, Dr. Maxwell, your friendly neighborhood doctor and storyteller. And today we're brewing up some botanical badness with a black cherry on top. Yup, I'm talking about that dark and delicious elixir that brought both royalty and ruin. Black cherry brandy. Imagine sipping a drink so decadent that Marie Antoinette drank it. Napoleon bottled it, and America just said, nah, we don't do that anymore. Royalty and revolution before we can uncork this controversy. We need to rewind to the Middle Ages. Yes, we're taking a trip back to the days when people thought you could cure anything with mercury and wine, because those were definitely simpler times. So put on your corsets and grab your tankards, because we're heading straight to 14th century France. This is where our story starts, with a guy named Guy de Chauliac, a royal surgeon for King Charles V, a.k.a. the guy who stitched up Joan of Arc's armor after her big battle in Orleans. But stitching up armor isn't all this guy did. He was also a bit of an alchemist. He mixed up all sorts of syrups, tinctures, and ointments, including one special mix for treating sore throats. He called it Cordel d'Amour, or Cordel d'Amour. What's more, you ask? Simple, black cherry moor, aka Prunus spina. This little shrub may look unassuming, but trust me, it packs a punch. Those tiny black cherries hide a secret stash of cyanide, which makes them perfect for creating cough syrups. Because cyanide, well, let's just say it's a natural muscle relaxant. And what relaxes muscles better than a nice soothing syrup? So, with a mix of black cherry, cinnamon, cloves, and brandy, Guy Chauliac created a simple syrup that would go down in history. From cordial to brandy, but the real story of our drink doesn't end with good old Guy. No, sir. We've got to travel about 3 centuries forward to the next great mixing master. One, Nicolas de Nicolet, a French apothecary who lived in the 1700s. He combined black cherry juice with brandy and spices, creating a new cordial. This time, though, he added a secret ingredient: sugar. And let me tell you folks, the result was a game changer. No longer was this stuff just a medicine. Now it was a drink fit for kings, or at least for every king's cousin who needed a good time. And those cousins, let me tell you, they went wild for this stuff. Marie Antoinette and madness. Well, you know, when a drink is this good, it's bound to attract a little scandal. Enter Marie Antoinette, the infamous Queen of France and Austria, and also a big fan of black cherry brandy. Now, we can't talk about her love for the drink without first mentioning her unfortunate affinity for the guillotine. You see, Marie Antoinette wasn't just a brandy drinker. She was a bit of a revolutionary herself. She'd love to sneak out of the palace in disguise, hitting the streets of Paris in the guise of a commoner. Can you imagine a queen in a wig sneaking around, trying to buy shots at a dive bar? It's almost as crazy as, the whole let them eat cake thing. Anyway, during these escapades, she developed a taste for the common folks drink, black cherry brandy. And honestly, who can blame her? I mean, who needs powdered wigs when you can have a drink that tastes like sweet summer nights and impending doom? But while Marie Antoinette sipped on her way to the gallows, this drink earned another dubious title. It was dubbed a Lechmich Imarsh brandy, a delightful little moniker that roughly translates to lick me in the ass. And it's all because of one nasty rumor, that Marie Antoinette dipped her bread in the drink before eating it. Yum. Napoleon's rise and rhine, but you know, Marie Antoinette isn't the only famous face connected to this tipple. We've also got to raise a glass to Napoleon Bonaparte, one of history's greatest military leaders, and also a huge fan of black cherry brandy. After he seized power in France, Napoleon made it official, making black cherry brandy part of the imperial ration for soldiers. He even personally designed a bottle and seal for it. Talk about giving your general a royal flush. However, Napoleon wasn't just a brandy lover. He was a brandy hoarder. During his exile on the island of Elba, he managed to smuggle over 300 bottles of his beloved drink. Maybe he was planning to open a bar, but who knows? One thing's for sure. He probably got sick of drinking alone and kicked off his Corsican campaign after realizing he had too much brandy and no one to share it with. So the next time you take a shot of black cherry brandy, Who's to remember you're following in the footsteps of an emperor? Just hopefully, without the whole conquering Europe thing. Coming to America now, while the drink may have found its fame in France, it wasn't long before it made its way across the pond to good old America. But here's the funny part. While European immigrants brought the recipe with them, Americans weren't quite sure what to make of it. At first, they tried to copy it with domestic cherries, but let's just say that it didn't turn out too well. You see, American cherries aren't quite as potent as their European cousins, so the drink just didn't pack the same punch. It was like trying to make absinthe with mint leaves instead of wormwood. But then came the Prohibition era, and everything changed. When alcohol sales were outlawed in 1920, many European immigrants had to hide their beloved recipes, passing them down through word of mouth or secret handshakes. That meant that traditional recipes like black cherry brandy nearly disappeared, fading into the shadowy world of bootlegging and speak. But then in the 1980s, someone rediscovered the lost art of making black cherry brandy. Enter Eric and Paul Trebuchet, two French brothers who revived their grandfather's brandy recipe and introduced it to a new generation. Today, their brand is one of the best-selling fruit brandies in the US, selling more than 1 million bottles every single year. So the next time you feel like taking a trip to 18th century France, just crack open a bottle of black cherry brandy, and don't forget to watch out for guillotines. As we raise our glasses to this deliciously dark drink, we're reminded that sometimes the best stories come in small packages. Who'd have thought that a humble black cherry could lead us through centuries of royal debauchery, revolution, and near-forgotten recipes? It just goes to show you, never know what kind of adventures await behind that next bottle. So the next time you see a bottle of black cherry brandy, remember, you're holding a piece of history in your hands. Just try not to dip your bread in it. This has been Medicinal Mysteries with Dr. Maxwell. Until next time, stay curious, stay caffeinated, and maybe stay away from drinks with too much cyanide.